What's happening today is that we have our old desires for spatialization that were thwarted, as only cinemas in the 1980s managed a reasonable distribution, using surround sound and 5.1. Today the possibilities have multiplied and we can envisage producing in whatever format we wish. And as I was saying before, we can also add the object-oriented mode to that. As for the mix, I'll program it, but it won't be done at mine. I'll listen to it before bringing it to someone else, and it will be adapted to that person's conditions. So already, that's a paradigm never before heard in audio, or what's known in radio and television as broadcast. It was only us who, until very recently, had a problem. One that will certainly soon be resolved, or at least largely improved upon. When broadcasting on the radio, it goes out to cars, headphones, and people's front rooms, some resonant, some small. In short, a myriad of listening modes. It's tough to make a mix that functions everywhere, so mixes were nothing more than compromises. Today, we're able to make mixes of very high quality that will adapt to their purpose, both on the receiving system as well as the mode in which the audio is consumed. So already a large paradigm, but what's more, we'll be able to add immersion and the interaction even of all these tools. It's a real revolution, and we're constantly accelerating the frequency of change to the production and audio distribution. So, at the level of production, we must distribute the flow at its best possible quality. But in this quality I include the fact that this flow of audio must adapt itself as best as possible to the different qualities of reception. So from the super speaker system with a very accurate playback, to the little €30 speaker placed on the kitchen table with the washing machine or the dishwasher running alongside it. The objective for an enterprise like Radio France is to respond to the biggest audience possible, and it's these techniques that will allow us to dramatically improve the precision of playback by taking into account the different possible modes of listening. These days, to prepare a project, we no longer need a soldering iron and electrical components, but rather object-oriented programming tools. I'm not a coder, as in, I don't work with lines of code, as it's not a subject that I've mastered. However, I have developed an understanding of how to work with programs such as Max MSP or Usine. These enable us to do object-oriented programming, allowing the user to create the missing links in the chain between tools that are otherwise well-developed but don't respond entirely to our needs. Therefore, on certain projects, today's sound engineer must respond to the project's demands and provide solutions. Also, today, computers enable us to develop intermediate solutions in order to make connections between the bigger tools that we use. So yes, we can see big changes in our profession. I think that today's tools are already quite complete. There's a lot that can be improved, but on the whole, for me, the essence is there. Now we must fine-tune. And we must make the link to the creative aspect. And I think what will take even more time to improve is how we adapt the tools for the creator's different needs and uses. Now, to imagine what will be created in 10 years from now, I've no idea, because the human imagination is so powerful, it will certainly branch out in all directions, and I'm happy about that. I'm totally convinced that it will be very, very rich in ideas. Of that, I'm sure.